Good morning guys, how are you doing? We've got a bit more of a special episode for you today because we've travelled quite a long way west from where we live and we find ourselves in the picturesque county of Somerset. Well, we're not too far away from Glastonbury and we're in a place called Frome, spelled F-R-O-M-E. So it's Frome, I believe it's pronounced Frome. And we are working on a campsite. So yeah, it's taken us about 2 hours to get here. We came south down the M3, then onto the A303, fly past Stonehenge, you get a quick view of that, and here we are. So yeah, it's about, we got here for about 9 this morning, so it took pretty much 2 hours to get here. So I'll show you around the place a little bit later, but here's a brief glimpse of where we are. We're staying in another room up by the clubhouse and stuff. It's quite a nice little area. It's the first time I've ever been here. It's a campsite a friend of mine owns, and yeah, we've come all the way down to do this. And they are doing up the shower block. So let's have a quick look at what we have to do. So here is the shower blocks. So obviously all these are for motorhomes or caravans. They also have tents down here. They got like a little play area right down the bottom and some other chalets. But our task is pretty simple, and we got a rustic feel going on in these shower rooms. So I believe this is the ladies, and basically our task is, if it's plasterboard, make it pink. Okay, so we've got a tiny little bit of boxing in up there. We might be able to get that light off, I think, and just have that hanging down. Up the top here, we're just going to finish to these edges, we've decided now, because what it's going to do is going to get another piece of opaque perspex and span that to create a bit of a cavity there, and just see it home with some, you know, bits of wood like this, I guess, some batten or something. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward, nothing too challenging at all. I guess we'll just finish onto there, and they can put some rustic architrave round onto there. So yeah, there's nothing to really talk about. So we've got something very similar going on next door here. So that was the ladies, and this is the guys' place. Actually, so yeah, pretty much same sort of thing going on in here. Toilet, blah blah blah. Right, the guys are just going off to get us some materials, a little list of stuff, just a handful of bits and pieces. We're going to get our tools out and start setting up. So yeah, as for recording in there, I mean, plastering for beginners, maybe it's just over plasterboard. Really easy little task, although it's a little bit fiddly in there. Probably one of the main concerns is keeping that wood clean, so we try not to splash all that stuff. It's a rustic look, and yeah, we'll just crack on with it, and yeah, I'll just later I'll show you around. I kind of feel like this is episode's gonna be a bit like Gone Fishing with Bob Mortimer and Paul Whitehouse. So yeah, I'll show you our accommodation and give you a tour of the place. Right, let's crack on, shall we? Alright, Benson. Shay's brought his dog. This is a Belgian Malamar. Malamar? Quite a young thing. Very inquisitive and full of energy. And he's going to be sleeping in the room with us later. So getting back to the work we have to do. That's the way, ladies, that's the gentleman, and in the middle is the washing up area. I guess for campers, tents, they have tents in here, so somewhere to do your washing, etc. Looks like there's a fridge to keep things in, and he advised me that the plaster scrim is here, and it turns out to be hippo tape. We've had this before, okay, and it's white. So let's get this hippo scrim going on. Here we go. So look, here's a little tip for you if you are a bit of a newbie, or you're plastering for the first time, or you're prepping for a plasterer. So we're putting the scrims up. Okay, we've got these tapered edged boards, and they've been cut in kind of a bit strange ways. I don't know why there'd be a panel in there, but it just is what it is. Now it's quite important when you do get your scrims that you get them in real tight. Okay, so run your fingers in, or your trowel, but sometimes you might cut the scrim if you run your trowel down there, and get them really tight so that the internals come out really crisp. It's really easy not to like get it in there and this little bit rounds off, and then when you try to get your trowel in there, it catches it, and etc, and you'll get more of a wonky internal corner. And also, I very often see these little corners missed. It's really important that you get right into there, okay, and maybe push the scrim in there so that there isn't a little hole, because you can see there is a bit of a gap between the plasterboards. Okay, so if you leave a little hole there, so if you stopped here, stopped there, and you've got this tiny little hole, quite often what will happen is when you've plastered the wall, that little hole will fill up with plaster, but then when you get your corner trowel or your little edging brush, however it is you like to finish your little internals off, right at the end, just as you're troweling up, you put your little corner trowel or your edging brush in there, and it will poke the little bit of plaster through, and the hole will reappear, and you'll have to fill it again. Things like that. It's, you know, the flat areas you can get away with quite a lot of stuff. You know, they can flop around all over the place. But the thing that really does catch somebody's eye and makes a difference, whether a room looks particularly good or particularly bad, is all your internals. You've got to get them as straight as you possibly can, which is one of the reasons I'm always going on about this 20x5 carbon steel trowel. I'm really used to it. I don't need any other tools. I like to be simple. So you can have all these flexible rules and stuff like that, but with that, because it's so big and I'm used to using it, I tend to flatten out as I go along, and it straightens things out a lot better. If you use a very small trowel, you might tend to, guys are here now. Yeah, if you use a small trowel, you might need a bit more of a rule or a corner edge or something like that, but I can do everything with that. I don't need any other tools in this room with me. Well, the farmer is at work. I've got a nice smell of country air. It's got some manure going on his field, I think. So the only little bit of beading we have is this little bit up here, and since we're going on plasterboard, and quite often I will use this heavy duty stapler, this will be perfectly sufficient into fixing it in there. You can go into the holes, but we will still get a little bit of wobble there. Good to go both sides. Let's see if I can get it to go through the actual bead. It's just caught it there, let's see. Let's get a better shot. No, it's not going through this bead. Some beads it goes through, some beads it doesn't. Okay, so we've got rather a generous 2 days to get this all completed, so you know, it's one of those, isn't it? If we can take it nice and easy in here and have, you know, quite a easy time with it. I guess one thing what we really will benefit from, and so will the owner, is keeping all this wood clean as best we can. So yeah, we're just going to take our time in there. Small little hits. Break the back a bit today, both these little rooms, and then we should have a pretty easy day just to finish off tomorrow and get back. So there we go. Okay, so we are locked on. Let's mix up some plaster, shall we? So just multi-finishing here. It's just regular plasterboard. Maybe they could have gone for some moisture resistant stuff, but it's just been recently brought to my attention, the green stuff, the moisture resistant plasterboard. You're not really supposed to put multi-finish or board finish over that just by itself. It does need treating with what they suggest is thistle bond it. Yeah, it's just regular plasterboard in here. There is a plaster, Pro Dura plaster or something, can go straight over the green stuff, and apparently it can fail. So I think it's just like a get out clause for them if it does fail. But yeah, the green stuff, not really supposed to plaster straight onto it. Okay, so yeah, it's just a small room. So we're just going to knock up small gauges. I'm probably going to get sort of like half, 3/4. Okay, let's get things cooking, shall we? So yeah, I was working on a job the other day, and mate had been watching the videos, and yeah, he showed me this little device called a gimbal, which is a little stabilising unit, and it comes with an app and stuff. So basically, you put your phone on it, and it's got motors and stuff in it, and the app right now is tracking me. So you're just like on a little tripod on a little stand, and the thing is just rotating around watching me. I was totally impressed with it, and I thought that is a good idea, especially when you're plastering and you need 2 hands and you're trying to film it at the same time. So I'm going to need my crate in there, I think, to get up there. So yeah, as I say, excuse me, I'm struggling with a bit of a cold that's been going around, a nasty cough, but luckily it's not COVID. Great. Yeah, but there's a really niggly cough that's been lasting a long time, can't seem to shift it. So yeah, in here we're just knocking up small gauges. We've got a good couple of days to get this done, so we're not under any pressure to really speak of. Oh, the other thing, look, notice, I did it the other day on one of the videos. We got given some sachets of half-time, extra time by this company, www.easymix.co.uk, and he gave me a t-shirt as well, so I'm wearing that today. I'm taking it easy with half-time. Excuse me. There's not really too much to talk about on this job, to be honest with you. It's just straightforward setting. And all last week we did loads of videos of subjects or a style that if you are a beginning plasterer, it's well worth you watching, because we've given a lot of tips how to control the plaster, how to mix it up, etc. Today is going to be more about the place that we're staying, I think, more than anything else. As I say, it's a bit of a busman's holiday, this one. I'm friends with the owner of the campsite. He's had it, as he was telling me. I've not seen him for such a long time. And the guy that's got me in is going to be the manager of the place. And I've done quite a few bits and pieces for him over the years. So yeah, this is a really nice little campsite. I'm not too familiar with the local area. But as I say, as I was coming down, we went past Stonehenge, and then I noticed just round the corner, because I say we were in Frome, and Longleat, L-E-A-T, I think it's spelt, but I think it's pronounced Longleat. You know, when you start getting down into the West Country, you have weird names for places, you know. Americans tend to struggle sometimes with the pronunciations, with the spelling. I mean, there's a place called High Wycombe that's not too far away from where we live. But if you used to pronounce it, it would be High Wycombe, as it's spelt. So yeah, it's a safari park. So later on, because the guys, the owner and the manager, have disappeared to go and do some stuff on the actual house where they live, which is about 20 minutes away from here. And they've left us here to have the whole run of the place. And they've given us a flat. I thought it was going to be in one of the camping pods, but it's given us a flat. And also there's a clubhouse with a bar and a pool table. And I haven't had a good look around just yet. So just cracking on with the work. But apparently there's a games room down the bottom. He's given me a list, he's given me a fob to open up the place. We've literally got the place to ourselves. So, later on in the video, we'll have a good walk around and I'll show you the place. And I'll probably put a link up to the website. So if you are interested in booking a room here, then you can find the link there. And don't forget to mention my name, just say you saw Smurf's video. Mate, you might get a free drink out of it. Alright?
Yeah, I'm going to nick that bucket if that's alright.
Oh, are you? Yeah. That's my camera. That's my camera stand.
I was looking all around for where would I put it? Well, I left it at home. And then I was looking around for something else to replace it.
That's alright. No, go and take it. Yep, yeah, give us that. Here I am, it's locked onto me again. I needed to move you anyway because we've got to go down here with the ceiling. There's a slight slope on this ceiling, so I don't need the crate in here. So like I say, it's more awkward than anything else, it's just straightforward. And I've knocked up the multi-finish just a little bit thicker, so it's easy to control. I'm always knocking it up thick these days. It's only if you're really on building sites and you're being paid by the meter, if you like, that you might be tempted to knock things up really thin and tight so you can really fly across the work. Yeah, that's a little bit awkward in places, but take our time and get it all looking very nice. So yeah, using this 20-inch trowel has its pros and cons. So something like awkward like this, it might be a little bit on the large side for some people, but I'm used to using it all the time. So it's not such an issue for me. But if you're not used to such a big trowel and you suddenly switch up to one, you could possibly have your eye out. One of the things is like misjudging where the back of the trowel is, and sometimes you're coming in like and catch something like that as you're pulling your trowel back, and then you can swing around and catch yourself in the face. So you do need to be a little bit careful. But in small places like this, where it's so big, look, I've got to get above this doorway. If you can see it on the camera, and look, I can sweep all the way across there. If I had a short trowel, I really wouldn't be able to do that. Now I can clear all that wood. Okay, so look, the mist seems to be lifting, it's warming up a little bit. Okay, so in here we have got these two bits of ceiling on and just that tiny little bit of boxing under there, and I've managed to use that pretty much the whole amount that I knocked up, which was that much of a bag, so it's almost like 3/4, 2/3. So what we're going to do now is get this flattened in straight away. So I've got the back of the shower there, and in here, just because it was convenient to do so, the back of this lavatory here. Just playing on the zoom, actually we'll get it on the wide angle. Okay. Get that to lock in on me. Should be good. Is it locked in? It has locked in. It's amazing. Okay. Let's just double check that that microphone is working. That's the problem with the extra. Hello, check in. Yes, it is. I can see on the dial that it is working. It's so annoying if one of these little devices fails because I've got the microphone on, got you on the little receivers in the phone as well. and you're on the gimbal, so it's really easy to forget that one of them's gone into sleep and it's not actually recording the voice or something. So yeah, we're going to flatten this in. So if you remember, I did say we were going to knock this up really kind of stiff, because that's going to allow us to do two things. We can keep a lot better control of it in these tight areas without dropping so much. And I've put it on quite thick as well, because what we're going to do is we're going to give it a real double cheat, and you can get away with it in places such as this. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a rustic shower room. So what we are going to do, I think, is save us a lot of time and quite a lot of unnecessary effort. We are going to do a one coat sponge. Yes, you heard me right. We're going to put one thick coat on and we're going to sponge it up, and then I'm probably going to go straight to a flexi trowel. Now I know some of you purists, seasoned plasterers, will throw your arms up at that suggestion. But it does actually work, and in some situations you can get away with it and leave a perfectly good and acceptable standard of plaster to be decorated. Now I have done videos about sponge floating and one coat sponge floating, so I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of it completely, how it does work, but if you do, I think there's one that's called How to Stop Ripples, or To Sponge or Not to Sponge. If you have a look at the playlist, that's what it was called. It's one I did a little while ago. So that's what we're going to do. So we literally just turn this on and we're going to flatten it straight in, and I'm going to keep my eye on it because I know we're going onto plasterboard, which does have a certain amount of suction. The temperature is still quite low, so I'm not too sure exactly how fast this is going to pick up, but I'm quite confident it's all going to be gravy. Tiny little bit of sag on the joints because they were tapered edge boards. Ideally they would have been square edge boards. So tapered edge boards are for joint and taping. That's when you don't plaster the wall and you just fill the cracks. That's why they dip in like so. So all you do is just fill that and then sand it down. Oh yeah. Okay, since we have got the microphone on and I'm able to get you to follow me around the room because you're our computer, I will talk to you about how we can get away with one coat sponging and at least simulate a two coat finish. Okay, so what I've done, like I say, is knock this gear up a lot stiffer than you normally would, and I've also laid it on a lot thicker than you normally would. And this is to allow the plaster to take the battering it's going to get from the sponge float. Okay, so what we do is flatten this in as best we can, which is looking pretty good. We're going to let it pick up for a short period of time, depending on the conditions. And then we're going to liven that surface up with a splash of water and the rubbered sponge floats, which I'll show you shortly. Now I tend to use a high density one, which is quite thin. I don't use the really coarse ones, which are more beneficial for sand and cement work. Okay, so like I said, I did go right into one. If you want to know the ins and outs of sponge floating and how it does actually work, and you can get away with it, do have a look down the playlist or search up the video which is called To Sponge or Not to Sponge. Okay, so basically what we're doing, we're using one of these sponges, okay, which is from Wix. It's a lot thinner than the average ones, okay, and you can see the foam is actually quite dense in it. Tiny little bit of water, you can use a spray bottle. This has picked up a little bit, but not much. We need to get enough water on there so that the sponge really does hydroplane nicely just across the surface, because we don't want to wash the whole depth of the plaster out, just livening up that surface. I'm just going to get one section done at a time and flatten it in virtually straight away. And I think I'm going to double cheat and flatten it in with a flexi trail. I mean, if I was doing a stairwell or something like that in somebody's house, I probably would be a little bit more reluctant to use this technique. But considering it's a rustic campsite shower room, I do think we're going to get away with it and nobody is going to know the difference unless they watch this video. Like I say, it is something I've done quite a few times and I've got quite good at it, if I do say so myself. It may take a little bit of getting used to with timings and stuff, but it is something that does work, believe me, and it's just one of those little tricks that you can pull out every now and again to make your day and the job just that little bit easier. Okay, now let's have a look at the texture we've created. Hopefully it'll come through in the light because we're on the wall, so you can see what's happened, look. Okay, so let's just liven up the very surface. Now I'm going to take this 18-inch Nida flexible trowel. As you can see, it is flexible, bendy, and we are just simply going to run that over it. So I'll look down here. And that's the type of residue that we're getting off of there. And we're not taking this off.
That?
Yep.
So is there people currently living there or what?
There's one lady that lives here. Other than that, we're by ourselves.
Where is she living at the end?
She's living, no, I'll show you in a minute. So there we go, look. It's literally just had one flatten after a sponge float. Right, let's do the same to the other side. Okay, so remember, what this float is doing is livening up that very surface. But if you ever float, if you're floating up this, it works exactly the same way as a devil float would on hardwall or backing coat, or a regular float on sand and cement render. We're just taking it down a notch. I mean, basically, the multi-finish is exactly the same as render. It's grains of sand, but just a lot finer. That's why we're using a finer float. So not only is it livening up the surface, but it is also buffing out any potential ripples, and it actually makes a really good job of it. And that is why we can get away with going straight over it with a flexi trowel. Okay, so let's recap. Sponge floating. If you can have a little go at it, knock the plaster up much stiffer than you normally would. Put it on quite a bit thicker than you normally would. Get it back, flatten it in, and then leave it to pick up, probably to the stage where you would normally, maybe just leave it a little bit longer than what you would normally do and flatten it in. Maybe you can get away with flattening it in twice, but you don't want to leave it too long, okay? You don't want it to set almost go completely off and then try to sponge float it and pull it back, because that will weaken the plaster down far too much, and the type of stuff you'll be getting out of it will be far too thin to fill anything, so you will have trouble. And I'll do small areas at a time. So not plaster up thicker, put it on thicker, sponge it before it goes off too much, and get back with your flexi trail, or you can use your carbon steel, whatever, and get back and flatten that in. Don't leave that too long, and push that stuff back in. And then once you've done that, you can just treat it like you just normally two-coated it, and just see it home with a wet brush, trowel it up until it's finished. And you saved a lot of time, because you didn't knock up that second coat and pull it back in time. That's where you get the extra time. What do you want? What do you want? I'm not playing, I've got to work. So, I looked up this little bit, a little bit of dirty water that was residual. I'd already taken the time to dab out those nasty bits where the joints were. This and down the back is all under control. So I'm just going to take out this wall completely as a bit of a linking gauge, and that just leaves me these two end walls and that tiny little bit of boxing left to do. Okay, so this wall has been sponged and flattened once with the Nila flexi trowel. These two ceiling bits that you saw us get on earlier just need a final trowel. So this wall is being treated as our linking wall between the rolling sets. It's about to go, trowel these up, I'll give this another trowel, and when this is kind of like almost there, then I'll knock up and get the last hit on, which will be this wall, which goes all the way through into there. I've already got the back. I did forget about this, but there's a back there to do, but that's hardly anything. And this wall, which goes through there, this is a plastic sheet, so that doesn't need doing. Oh, and I've got that little bit of boxing. Actually, I've got a little bit on my hook. Look, I can probably, that little bit there, probably get these two ends on. I might get them on with that now, which is what's left over. A little bit in that, yeah, which is what's left over from this wall. So yeah, I'm gonna find all these, give this a trowel up, and then like have a look at the clouds for a little bit, and then get these last two walls on, and we're done in here. It keeps bringing in little leaves for me to play with. You need a job, you do, dog. You ever seen a dog want a leaf so much? Look at that. Concentration. Okay, so these ceilings are done. Starting to brown off in a couple of places, as you can see. And this is the type of residue that we're getting out. So yeah, we're pretty good. That came out pretty much the whole ceilings. So I'm gonna get back on this and give this a flatten, and then start looking at getting these two ends on. Okay, so here we are then. Time is just about 4 o'clock. The dog has not left me alone all day long. He wants me to throw the ball. So we're just starting to lose the light a little bit, but we managed to get, well, I managed to get this room on. Me and Cher stayed apart, stayed completely out each other's way. This just needs troweling up. It's still a little bit off, sponged it for giving it one flatten. So yeah, where's my torch gone? Here it is. So obviously all in here. This still needs troweling up. So this in here, this wall, that face of up there on that boxing, this wall and in there are all the last hit, otherwise everything is on and done. So if you remember, I've been one coat sponging in there, and let's have a look at the quality. So I can't turn the light off in there because it's on a motion sensor. But there you go, that's what we're looking at. So this is the wall that you can see needs troweling up. Put it this way, it looks lovely. Put it that way, shows you all the trail marks. This wall's done. What else is done? And dark. It's dark in here and done. Here we go, I mean look. It's one coat. If there's any problems with that, when it's all painted, then I will be a monkey's uncle. So we got here, we left, got on the motorway for just about, we was on the motorway for about 7 a.m. this morning, so it took about 2 hours to get here from then. So we got here at 9 in the morning. Then I had to get out and meet the guys, and then we had a cup of coffee, we had a little walk around and showed you the place and stuff. So I wouldn't have thought we was getting anything on the walls till, you know, good half 10 or something like that, because they had to go and get materials. We started scrimming up. So time's 4 o'clock now. So I managed to get pretty much all that done. There's another couple of trails in there, so I'll be wrapped up by 5. So, we're going to see this through. We've got some food to heat up in the microwave. I'll show you the room in a bit. So that's probably, to be honest with you, all the plastering that I'm going to show you on this video. The rest of it's going to be about the campsite, I think. So here we are outside the front in the car park. Obviously we've lost the light, but I thought I'd just show you quickly. It's quite pretty, isn't it? All at night, lit up. So this is the clubhouse, and we do have the key fob to get in there, but we have to get round the door. It's all quite securityed up. So that's where you drive through, and that's the block down there where we were staying. So let's have a look at the room that they've given us. So you can access it around this way, and it is called the Den. So we come around here. I'll show you around the back door. That's our door to get in, and you can also get to it from around this little courtyard garden through here. So that's our back doors. So it's got its own little private sort of courtyard area. This is kind of like the pub sort of courtyard to the clubhouse. Looks like there's another chalet there. Or is it the pub garden? Yeah, it's a little bit of a pub garden. So let's have a look inside the place. Here we go. It's quite a big flat, really, more than anything else. So that's the courtyard we was just in. Sofas. There was a rug down there, but because we've got the dog, we just rolled that up. I don't want his dirty footprints. You know what I mean? So yeah, little lighting system. Boy, it's I didn't even notice that a minute ago. Big cooker. Let's see, kitchen area, dining area, bathroom. Lots of space in here, and a very large shower. All done up very, very nicely. This is what he's been doing. He's been renovating the place. So we have a large bedroom here, vaulted ceilings, baby changing stuff. That's the front of the property out through those windows. And then in here we have a twin room. So there you go. I've also been given the key fob to open the actual clubhouse. Should we have a look in there? Okay, so here we are back in that little pub courtyard area. Looks like there's a room up there, up these stairs. Bin cupboards. There's a general little seating area, so that's where we were earlier, where the toilets are, where that sign is hanging. It's a general little seating area. Looks like maybe a reception. Another just little seating area. It's the other side of those gates. And here comes Shay. Key fob. So here I have the key fob to get into. Reevaluate where we are. Look, clubhouse. Apparently it pushes there, and the door opens. So There's more rooms up here, apparently. I haven't been up here yet. Well, it's a bit dark. I don't know where the light switch is. It's got to be around here somewhere. Let's. I'm running out of battery actually, so we'll have a bit of a better look tomorrow, I think. The switch is here. So yeah, here's the clubhouse. They're moving some bits in. Matt did say help yourself to what's in the fridge. Any beers or anything? Hey, what about that, eh? Pool table. Obviously some furniture and stuff, so yeah, it's just like a really nice living room. See the little bar there. See a dining area. Kitchens. Industrial kitchen through here. Goes back quite a way there. What's through here? I'm going to guess toilets or something. Yeah, toilets. And that's that little courtyard that we were just in earlier. This is some sort of store cupboard. So yeah, that's where we was. And our room is around there, yeah? Okay, whilst I've still got some battery, these are the cabin areas. So this one here is called the Hollow. He did give me the codes for it, but like I say, we won't do it now. I'll maybe have a look tomorrow. There's another cabin there with bunk beds in it. It's very compact little place that can be hired out. Obviously can't see too much in the dark. Another one there. Okay, so those were the lavatories that we were in. These were all the hard standing pitches with a bit of grass, and they told me there's a games room in here. For the kids, there's like some sort of little retro gaming system there. Okay, let's have a little bit of a look further down. Okay, so we're right down the bottom and it looks like there's some more access in. Apparently there's some more grounds about. So here's another wash area. They say they do have some more washrooms. They do have camping tents here as well. So yeah, more washrooms down the bottom here. Very good amenities. And these here are just some more cabins. So I'm just doing this very quickly before my battery runs out. What are my stripes, am I?
Yeah.
I've got 2 shots. About like the middle pockets.
Like Baron. Right. Like Baron. 6'9". But 6'6", he was very tall. And on top of that, he wore that. Yeah, there it is. It's a long bed, elongated bed.
Shot the carriage, yeah?
It was very, over it.
You put it the first.
The chairs are very, very low to the ground, actually. But he had the long bed. And you had the Gettysburg Address right on that, right under that. You can see it here, right there, the original version of the Gettysburg Address. And this is the original, and I'm looking, I just looked around, I said, do you believe this? Because I was never a politician. Even if you were a politician, I was never a politician.
And then a mail trick.
Go on then.
Right.
Smashing the ballot,
And it was very, very surreal. That room was so beautiful. Much more beautiful than it actually is. You know, to me, when I
On the wobbly table, smashing them about it, it's a good tactic.
I think there is a ghost in him who's moving the balls. Or like when you lean on the table.
Melancholia. They didn't call it depression.
It might be what it is.
They called it melancholia. About a year ago, you would know the names. 14-1, and the
Morning, guys. do you know what, I think I might have drank a little bit too much of that Jack Daniels last night. But we was in bed quite early, probably about 10:30ish or something like that. I just made myself a coffee in the clubhouse. Nice night in the room. We slept in the den. Oh goodness. You know what? We've slept in. It's just about 8 o'clock now. Right. Let's see what the traffic light is like going to work, shall we? Right, let's go to work. I seem to remember the way, I think. It was quite dark here last night. There you go, we're at work. I mean, it is quite handy when the pub, your home, and your job is all in the same place. I could get used to that. Alright, let's have another quick look around because it was dark last night when I tried to do this. So yeah, these are the new toilet blocks that we're working on and which are being renovated by us now. You can see there's quite a number of small pitches. I mean, you probably struggle to get a motorhome down here, but yeah. So they've all got electric. This was the games room that we was in last night. The pool table, I should have showed you that. Like I said, apparently there is another field somewhere, but with it, it seems to be a permanent residence there of somebody living on this field. I mean, we're completely surrounded by fields here. I mean, it was pitch black and deadly silent last night. Yeah, so down here, this is where the pitches end. A bit of greenery, a small play area for the kids, and a selection of other self-contained little cabins. Some more access there at the back, and some more shower rooms, and a wash-up area there, the little green. So I don't know if there's a bit of a field around the back or something where they tent up. I'm not sure. They said they have tents here. Well, I guess these are as you might expect. Excuse me. So yeah, I've got double bunk beds in there, beds. There we go. Just walking back up from the shower units which are there. This has got a resident in it at the moment, but this is something to do with property as well. These are self-contained cabins, but they do have little kitchens and bathrooms in them. And as you can see up here, this was all lit up last night. Oh, there's another cabin there. I didn't realise that was one. So yeah, in here is the clubhouse and the pub and everything, and that's what has another number of rooms inside there. So again, just to repeat, this is the ladies' toilets and shower areas. Yeah, sorry, there's a shower there and 2 toilets in there, which I managed to get complete yesterday. So today, with the pair of us in here, where Shay was, we just got to get these last bits completed in here. And really just a couple of walls. So Shay dubbed out a lot of this, the tapered joints, so that's dried. So I think we're going to need to get a little weak solution of PVA over them before we do anything else, just to kill the suction down on them and make sure we get a decent adhesion and really let that PVA soak into that rather than just putting a coat or a skin on top of it. Okay, everything is on in this room. It's still quite early in the morning. I was asked how much material for both these toilets. I still need to flatten this in, I just put it all on. It's in here as well, over here as you recall. So yeah, they said how much material. I said 5 bags, and we've used pretty much bang on 5 bags, and that's what we got left over. So I'm quite pleased with myself about that one. Another quick little butcher's in the daylight. So again, this is just out the back of the clubhouse, where there's a few tables and bits and pieces for the patrons. And here, as you can see, well, I showed you down the front, this is the back, so it's like a pub, bit of extra garden. There's a chalet there, and judging by that fishing gear down there, I know who's in there. Looks like there's a little ensuite in there. Kitchen area, self-contained. So this is the back of those other little cabins. There's a little kitchen area and an ensuite in there. And I haven't had a good look, but so this is where the other one is. There's a little car park here, and I guess that's the same there. And it's got its own tiny little bit of courtyard for a little bit of privacy. Nice. Benson, you looking for your briefcase? Huh? What have you done with your briefcase? Oh, I don't know. I don't know where it's gone. I got it a minute ago and I've lost it. I sniffed around. I can't find it anywhere. Someone's had it. So there you go, that's what we did on Thursday and Friday. So yeah, I mean, I'm quite an experienced camper myself, so it was quite nice to go there and have a look at that little campsite. Like I say, as a quick review of it, what I was struck by on that particular campsite was how it's kind of like set up for more young families. I mean, if you're not used to camping, then you've got all the facilities there that you need. There was ample facilities, and what I did notice about the place, all the borders were really quite secure, so you didn't really have to worry about young children disappearing or anybody being able to get in. The security there was quite high standard, where there was cameras on the gates. You saw there was a mechanical gate on there where you needed the key codes to get in, and that was just the only access to be able to get in and out. So yeah, it was really good. Like I say, there was ample washrooms down the bottom. The new washrooms in the middle of the area, so you've got those two, one down the bottom here, and this is where all the camping is. And then as you moved up, that's where you had the self-contained flats and stuff, which had the en-suites in there, so no need to use those washrooms. And then you had the clubhouse, so there was everything you needed there, absolutely everything. I didn't notice a little shop or anything like that. Maybe they set something up more in the season, because obviously they've closed it down for January to do the renovations, so that's why it was how it was when you saw it when we were recording. So yeah, I didn't notice, but maybe they set something up for when there is actual season, where you might be able to get milk or sausages or something like that if you want to cook. But the location of it, so you are kind of like, you do feel you're in the sticks. It was quiet as anything in the night, But there is quite a large retail park which was literally 5 minutes away. I timed it on the sat nav, and it was exactly 5 minutes away. And there was McDonald's, there was a Sainsbury's Superstore which was open till 10 o'clock at night, with everything you needed in there. So supplies and everything were literally just on the doorstep. So yeah, there you go. It was a great little place. The quality of the rooms and how well kept it was really quite up there. I got to admit, it's yeah, it wasn't run down or anything. It's been really looked after, and you know, like quite often, it's a family-run little business. So the guys there take quite a lot of pride, I think, in making sure that, you know, young families, especially, I think, really do have a nice experience of staying there. So the other thing in the local area, which I really noticed, was the Longleat Safari Park. So if you are looking to go to Longleat, that would be an ideal place to stay for the weekend. Stay there the night, and then do your safari one day and then stay another night or whatever. That looks like the best thing for me. But yeah, have a look. The place is called the Den and Orchard, as you saw on the sign. Look it up. It's on Google Maps. It's easy to find. Have a look what's in the local area. Yeah, it's a great little campsite. I totally recommend it. So guys, yeah, thanks for watching this slash plastering slash campsite review. If you did enjoy this video, I know it was a long one, but it was a couple of days of recording on there, and there's a lot to get on there. I just thought I'll throw it all into one video. So yeah, if you do like the channel, then please do like and subscribe. There's different videos on there now of all sorts of different varieties for beginners, some for more professionals, whereas plastering is concerned. And there's also a Facebook group where you can come and chat to us a little bit more engaging, if you like, than just the comments on the YouTube platform. So yeah, if you come over to Facebook, I'm on there. Other people are quite joined the groups, you know, got quite large now. Actually, it's not too bad, and you're able to put your own stuff up there. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. If you managed to get to the end of this one, well done. And I will see you on the next video, which will, I imagine, be next week sometime. Take it easy. See you soon.